are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report here on a Tuesday. Once again,
Bang.
the Barnes and Tony Endeavor. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. Obviously, hype for the Mets win in extras. A nice night of Monday Night Football, I suppose. Definitely got exciting. So I guess I'm excited to recap, dude.
Yeah, it sounded like an exciting night at the Horseshoe.
Yeah, dude, they never cease to amaze, honestly, bro. That the cheesesteak I had last night at the Horseshoe was so choice, dude.
I'm trying to think. Did we get that one time?
I want to say that's definitely the first time I tried it. I want to say
okay.
we got it for the show and had cut it up into like pieces and stuff. And ate it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought I remember doing that, and it was fire at that time.
Yeah, dude.
So just cheesesteak fries situation, or
Cheesesteak fry situation. And then yeah, a lot of fish and chips were on the table, and then wings and fries. Andy and Harrison split.
fish and chips.
Fish and chips are also great. I've had that. We've had the fish sandwich there as well. I mean, their fish is pretty solid, dude.
Yeah, nice. And then just Guinness all night.
Yeah, Guinness all night.
What was everyone else having? Same thing?
Yeah, for the most part, I think Coin was having some Two Roads, I think, or something, some IPA that he likes. Which,
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
I'm surprised you're that tight IPA, especially because you would think hammered quicker, you'd like it.
Yeah, but I don't know. The taste isn't there for me, dude.
Never? Like,
It's
there hasn't
really-
been like one where you were like, wow, this is pretty good, or like have you been to Stony Creek?
We'll see. Like, yeah, I've been to Stony Creek, but that is my reaction. This is pretty good. It's pretty good.
But like, you really think like, I guess you're just set on Guinness, but I guess if I was saying like compared to like Miller or Coors, like you really think that stuff tastes better than the IPA?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's easier to drink for me. IPA sometimes is just like,
Huh.
and it's like, especially again, like if I'm drinking a few.
But I thought too, just because I think you like your like stuff, different stuff, variety, that you'd be riled, like, so you have like a brewery or something, like,
Right.
oh, they have all these different types, the menu, sampling, the flights, it just seems like something that you would be riled for.
I mean, no, I going to breweries is dope. Like, again, I enjoy it, but like when I do get beers there, I stick to like Pilsners or lagers.
Okay.
If I do have to stray to like IPAs or an APA or something, like you wouldn't catch me getting a flight of those things because for me, they all kind of taste the same.
Interesting.
To me.
Yeah, I could see that.
But then like sours are good. I don't know if you ever had like a sour beer, like those kind of like those
yeah, I don't think I
different
like
taste.
those. What's Allagash? Is that a lager? Belgian lager?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Allagash White.
Yeah, you like that though, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, not an IPA, so it's okay. It's not illegal.
I mean, again, there are some out there. I've been to breweries where I'm like forced to drink IPAs. It's like all they have. I've been to, like small breweries like on Long Island or whatever that have like a limited selection. And it's like, again, I can get through it, like if we're there, but I'm
Yeah.
not like earning for it.
And
dude.
you know what else I'm surprised about? That you don't get tired of the Guinness. Because it is what would you say? Is it like this has been like a 3-4 year thing?
I would say consistently, yeah, because
Yeah.
again, like to find a spot that can pour it. And I mean, even when I was in undergrad, when I was a senior in grad school, when like Anna Liffey's was a thing,
Yeah.
like they were known for having Guinness and Smittix too. Like, I don't know, whenever, especially if you go to a place where like Dean or Jeff or Kyle are pouring the Guinness, know what they're doing. Like it tastes so crisp every time. It's like I never get tired of it, dude. It's literally like I'm tasting it for the first time every time.
And you never get tempted to go Sun Cruiser. Just has to be the beach bash.
I mean, listen, if of course there are times where I'm not feeling it, but that is
Yeah.
like once in a very blue moon, Sun cruises are great. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, I feel like Sun Cruiser, Surfside
That's kind of my favorite, like over a beer. And then, but I do like a Peroni.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then like the wine, like you're talking about, Matthew knows,
dude.
the House Cav, Arthur Ave. You can't be. There's something about that combination with the wine and the Italian food.
Oh my God. Again, that goes, they pair well together.
Yeah.
Dude. That's why I don't like, I don't know, do you like, would you have a beer with dinner? Like, does beer pair well with your food, you think? Or not really?
With wings and
With
pizza,
wings and
right?
pizza? Yeah.
Seems like a natural.
But I would never, like, I could definitely not do like an IPA with food because I feel like it just warps my
But
palate,
Peroni
dude.
with your pasta.
Yeah,
no?
a lighter beer. Exactly, dude. Nothing, something light and, refreshing, to just, cool your palate. But like, I'm drinking a heavy IPA. It's just like, ugh, dude.
Yeah. But when it comes down to it, and sure, it has to be paired with the Italian dinner. The Cabernet is definitely probably my favorite I've ever.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, the one at Enzo's was just amazing.
No, that's
dude.
what we had.
Yeah, so good, dude. Like I could keep having that. Honestly, it was so good.
And then it's like I could get through it, but I don't like love white wine.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you too. I don't love it either. I think most white wines for me is just honestly too sweet. Like a little too sweet for me, dude. Which maybe I'm old, but I don't know, dude. I mean, it's too much.
Yeah. And then what about a sangria or?
Love sangria.
Yeah.
No, hammer the pitcher sangria, please.
Yeah.
Like that's great.
For whatever reason, a lot of times the Mexican restaurants have good sangrias.
Yeah, dude. And the fruit too. Like, oh yeah, of course. No, white wine sangria. No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not up in here, Brian.
Boy, imagine right now. Just heading to some eatery, sitting at the bar. Maybe there's like some early baseball games out or something.
Wow, that would be sick, dude. Which we call Sinclair's. Ever been to Sinclair's in Fairfield Post Road?
I heard of it, never been.
They have great sangria.
You know what? This is so random. I was just thinking about this because we're talking about like early baseball games, and then it made me think of tailgate and stuff. I'm surprised there hasn't been an announcement on a ESPN tailgate for football season. Isn't there usually one?
That's a good point. Maybe there normally is one, but sometimes they don't advertise it. Maybe it's out there, but I feel like, again, we got Lonnie in the house.
Yeah, Lonnie,
Josh B. looming. Like someone's probably on top of it.
Somebody will come in because last year that was a lot of fun.
Do they normally do Jets Giants?
Well, last year was Jets
Dolphins.
Jets Pats.
Really?
That
Oh no, because fucking Damer was wearing a Dolphins jersey. That's why I was thinking Dolphins.
So I'm sure we'll get something from Yanni on that eventually. And I know he's in the comments already. So we want to start with those.
Of course, dude. Let's get back to the top of the comments here. Kev Do in the house.
Kevy Do.
Let's go. He says, we know why. We want the smoke. Big win for Los Mets. LFG. Eagles suck. He says, I hate their coach. Sierra definitely didn't look great. My mother says, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Good morning. Matthew Gabriel says, let's go. Josh B, speaking of, says, yo. He said, what up, fam? Baseball crunch time. Let's have a day. Hashtag TCS Sports Production. DTP, dude.
Quick pause here.
What do you got?
Notice, different start this season. Last year, there were graphics every week. No mention of the 1 and 2 performance by the TCA. Dude. Once again, and who's in the lead right now? You're looking right at him.
That's actually a great point, dude. Last year he did have the little graphic pop up. What happened? The record. Ooh, dude.
Because we're 3-3. They're 2-4. So chasing, bringing up the rear right
now. Speaking of chasing here, Matthew Gabriel says yearning for it, Anthony. A true man of Guinness. Yeah, Tony, I'm surprised you're not a big IPA guy. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, dude. I can't do it. And the people. I don't know, man. I can't.
What do you mean the people?
You ever like talk to one like an IPA guy? Like, oh, dude, you gotta try this IPA. It's so hoppy, dude. It's 8% like alcohol. It's just like it tastes like ass. And I can't. Like, I don't understand people.
But I feel like there's not a general IPA guy. I mean, everybody's different.
There's a general IPA guy. They normally can't shut up about it. Okay, dude. Matthew also says, I know some of them are beat, he says, and they're too heavy, but Barnes, the wine, dude. It says white wine sucks ass. Sangria is nice in the summer, dude. And then he says, let's all meet at Sinclair's right now, dude. Lonnie, you mentioned, good morning, guys. He says, Allagash White is a great beer. That's a fact. Beer and burger or wings, he says.
Absolutely.
I mean, echoing that sentiment.
Boy, and
Absolutely.
I never really had burgers. A nice burger right now, huh?
Yeah,
With a beer.
that's right.
But would it need to be a Guinness for you right now? Like big cheeseburger, all the fixings you want, good fries. Would it have to be a Guinness?
No, it wouldn't have to be.
But you would prefer it to be, you're saying?
I mean, right now, yeah, without thinking about it, yeah, I think I would prefer it to be. Would you onion rings?
Yes.
French fries.
Oh, definitely onion rings. But if it was crinkle cut, I could go with the fries.
All right, my mother here says, "Sorry, Barnes, the Mets are so good."
But I don't understand where that's coming from.
I don't know. She's probably just talking smack. Josh B does say, by the way, he's going to do it again. He says,
sure,
right.
Wait till the 3-0 week.
Yeah.
That's going to happen, bud.
Oh, my mother IPA is gross facts, and then Lonnie comes in with the Wolfsteiner, great beer.
German beer.
Oh yeah, dude, German beers are great.
Brandon really likes the German beers.
Yeah, dude, Germany definitely produces a good product in terms of beer. Hofbrauhaus beer is really good. Beck's is solid. Ungatz.
I'm just thinking. I mean, Lonnie would say nothing to announce about the next event. I feel like it just it's tough to get through, but maybe tomorrow I'll try to get on and ask about that.
Yeah, dude, because like you said, I mean, I feel like now would be the time to announce it.
No,
right?
it would be a good call because I feel like a lot of times when I've called in, it's kind of like call out spot, basically, and not even like talk to Rick and Dave. So, and then it'll be brought about me, how I am at the events, even though Dave, it was one time.
Oh my God.
Can't let it go.
Yeah. Brian, what are you so excited to get drunk again?
And then Yanni says Miller High Life. Definitely am in agreement there. Champagne of beers. And I've always thought, I don't know about you, Miller High Life over the regular Miller Light all day.
Oh, definitely, dude. Over Bud Light, honestly, over Busch.
Bud Light's not even in the conversation anymore, Tony.
It's so crazy, dude. Honestly, you know what I have honestly gotten a little bit of a taste for is Coors Light, to be honest.
Interesting.
And I think in college that was like Coors, dude. Like, what are you doing with that? But then now all of a sudden you see those Rocky Mountains blue, and you're ready to go.
But I think it's one of those things with Coors, like I can get through it, but I'm never like riled for Coors. It's like, oh, where's the Sun Cruiser? Where's the bottle of Chianti, Tony? I mean, come on. You're tight on Chianti. You're just Cap only.
No, I like Chianti. It's definitely, I think, probably one of the first red wines I was introduced to, and then probably like a Pinot Noir from there, and so on and so forth. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're talking beers. Obviously, if you want mixed drinks, you get a mixed drink. But if you're looking at beers, like I don't know, right? What do you got? What do you got? Pay attention. What do you got?
No, just repeat it again.
Lonnie?
What,
I don't know. Texting on the side, ESPN. I don't know. Like sometimes it happens, dude.
No, but just say what you're gonna say again. I don't know why.
No, I was saying like you're mixing in Sun Cruisers and wine, but like when you're in the mood for beer, like we're talking just beer here. If you had one beer right now, what'd you want? Beer.
One beer
right now.
Corona. Honestly though, the Allagash was good last night, so I or Sunday night, but I would say that.
How do you feel about Corona? You like Corona? A little lime in it, dude. The lime is good.
Yes, lime, but I don't know. Corona is one of those things. Again, never earning for it.
Really?
Yeah. No. It just sometimes it's too much. Like with the lime, I don't know. Sometimes it's almost like you can't do it on an empty stomach too. That would make me kind of sick, honestly.
Well, what the hell are you doing in the stomach for?
Whatever, Tony. You get the point. It's just not a perfect scenario. The Corona, but better options at the end of the day.
No, yeah, I guess so.
So yeah. I mean, that's really where we're at. Last question though, before we switch here. What was for breakfast? Anything to eat today? Or
no breakfast, dude. It's definitely hungry.
What's the plan?
I had actually this sweet deal on Sunday for pizza. You'd actually kind of laugh, dude.
Crossroads?
Vespino in Fairfield.
Sounds familiar.
It's been around. I've had it once or twice when I was living with Manny because he's just so close to it. But so I know they were solid, okay, like a solid pie. But like this was Sunday, it was football, I was cleaning, so I figured let me order some food in. And I was really in the mood for meatballs, specifically a meatball parm sandwich. So I saw Vespino on Uber Eats, look at it, buy one, get one large pie. So I got 2 large pies.
Uber Eats. Even with the fees, it ended up being worth it.
Yeah, I would say so. It was $20 for 2 pies.
And then, but what about with the fees?
With the fees, you're probably looking at like 27.
Which still isn't bad. Uber One membership?
No.
Wow. Seems like there was like some type of special there.
I know that like it was like a deal. It's like one of those deals through Uber, not through the restaurant. So I don't know how that exactly operates.
Okay, gotcha.
But regardless, I like fucking get 2 pies, and then I got the meatball parm sandwich that I wanted. Deal couldn't pass up. So I've always looked for pizza. I had like a whole pie.
Got it in the fridge.
Literally, yeah.
Nice. Dude.
So probably had a couple slices during the day.
Here you go.
So like, let's go.
Yeah.
I
gotta wait till the weekend because I just feel like recently it's just like every day it's like this like ridiculous meal.
Oh yeah.
No, so I'm saying yesterday just kept it light, the marsala, the broccoli rabe, and earning after this. Honestly, the Gaetano is Italian combo, hard to get off of that, but just gonna hold off protein bar, something light again later. Really is just annoying. Honestly, but it's just like you know how like just sometimes you feel it like you just need a couple days of light.
Yeah, no, of course, dude. You ever think about fasting for a couple days, like actually fasting for a couple days?
Well, I feel like I kind of do that. Really?
No, but like for 48 hours, like you're just having water.
Not a 48-hour. No, definitely not. I mean, it's just like
I mean, it's tough. I mean, who wants to do that, really?
Yeah. It's too much, honestly. Keep it light, Sonny, all right? Your mother wants to know how the meatball was, and also Yanni saying no coffee. Had it earlier.
Downed it.
Was thinking about double dipping, but I'm trying to like just because I feel like recently I probably still have like a lot of water compared to the average person, but recently I haven't had as much, so I'm trying to get kind of back to like where it's like just the water jugs are full, Tony, basically.
Oh yeah. And then in terms of the meatball, definitely not bad. I would say. Sauce is good. Meatball was like they were big, sizable. They weren't too like I guess they were soft. Like they weren't like hard meatballs or anything. So it was solid, but obviously earning for my mother's Sunday dinner. So
yeah, I mean, how could you not? Honestly.
Exactly.
But let's go now to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So just like that, you snap the fingers, and week 2 is complete. And we saw the Falcons upset the Eagles last night, 22-21. Late game heroics by Kirk Cousins. And once again, the Eagles crunch time falling apart here. Pretty shocking loss. Especially if you think about Cousins' record in prime time, and then you couple that with just the Falcons losing to the Steelers week 1 didn't look great. Eagles looked pretty good coming to this game off the win in Brazil against the Packers. And you look at this game, defensive struggle to start. So no points in the first quarter. Second quarter, the Falcons get on the board. Young Ho Koo from 39 made it 3-0. And then you saw the Eagles answer back with 5:15 left in the second quarter. Devonta Smith, a 7-yard touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts, so 7-3. Koo before the buzzer to end the first half. Another field goal, this one from 22, so 7-6. Another field goal from Koo early in the third quarter, 10-12 remaining. 34-yard made it 9-7. Jake gives the Eagles the lead back 10-9. And then we saw the Falcons strike on a 41-yard touchdown pass from Cousins to Darnell Mooney, the former Chicago Bear. So that made it 15-10, 2-point conversion, no good. Jalen Hurts has a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 18-15 with a Saquon Barkley 2-point conversion, and then stretch it out to 21-15. Jake Elliott from 28 yards, hoping that would ice the game. But then the Falcons only need 1 minute and 5 seconds to score. Drake London from Kirk Cousins, and really just a methodical drive by Cousins there. And that made it 22-21. So they win the game by 1. Cousins great down the stretch. And you obviously could point to earlier in the game, first drive, Eagles, I think it was a 4th and 4 chip shot field goal. They go for it, don't get it. Then the next time they end up kicking the field goal. So, you had kicked twice, different story here. But I think for me, the biggest story is, yet again, the Eagles down the stretch not doing the right things. And I think it's the combination of Hurts throwing that interception, late defense. I mean, how do you not, put any pressure on Cousins really the whole night? I mean, he was only sacked 1 time, had a QBR of 75.5. That's really good. 9 incompletions, no turnovers. I mean, that's how you win football games. So Cousins' first win since coming back from that torn Achilles, and just like that, Falcons 1-1, Eagles 1-1. What were your thoughts here, Tony?
Yeah, kind of mimicking what you were saying. I mean, not great for the Eagles there. I know you mentioned the kerfuffle by Sirianni, not taking that field goal early in the game. But like you said, at the end of the day, I mean, you gotta blame the players in the field. You said that last drive, the defense just, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were doing, but they just let Cousins mark. I don't know if they just expected him to make a mistake. Just like, oh, wow, I got the field goal. Like, there's not that much time left. There was like under 2 minutes, I think, at that point.
It was 1:39.
Yeah. And by the 39-second mark, like, they scored, like, literally within a minute, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they marched down the field, the Falcons, just rolling over the defense. And it's like, I understand they lost a few guys, but I mean, this Eagles defense is supposed to be great. They were making Kirk Cousins look phenomenal. I mean, I want to say at this point, probably his best primetime numbers.
Yeah,
we know
he's
about
had a lot of losses, obviously.
Yeah, in prime time. So definitely kind of tough, dude. And then, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I guess maybe at the end of the day, I don't know if there's maybe more of a Hurts call or if Sirianni is calling this, but that throw where the interception was at the end of the game, like, you didn't need a 40-yard pass. Like,
Right.
You were looking for like a chip shot field goal,
Yeah.
like, and you had time, you had downs to work with. You're taking a shot downfield while there's a man in your face. Like, why are you throwing that ball? Like, that's a serious problem. Like, this is Jalen Hurts. He's not a rookie quarterback who has never been in this situation before. He should be someone who is composed, who knows what's a good throw and what's a bad throw, or a good decision at that time and a bad decision. And clearly that line is a little bit blurred. And who knows really what's going on. I mean, we've clearly seen that there's been some ascension in the ranks there for the Eagles. We know that, Hurts and I think it was AJ Brown, right? They've kind of obviously butted heads, but also gone against Sirianni in terms of his play calling
Right.
too. So it's like, maybe Sirianni's like, yo, like, I don't know, like, hit the short, like, button hook pattern. Instead, Hurts is looking downfield. And I mean, that, again, I mean, that there was 2 defenders. I don't know what he was looking at, but that was a major mistake. That did kind of lose you the game there, dude.
Yeah. And I was saying this before. I mean, I think it's, something that stands out to me is the collapse on the stretch last year, losing to Baker in the playoffs. And like, everybody thought, oh, you win week 1, Saquon does great, all is well and good, let's go back to the Super Bowl. But I think some of those things haven't been worked out. And obviously it was a loss, not having AJ Brown here, but we know Devonta Smith is basically the number 1 receiver anyway. You ran for 180 yards on the ground. You just no way you should lose this football game. And, it just hurts with the turnovers. 2 years ago, he finished the season with only 6 picks. He already has 3 for the first 2 games this year, and, was amongst the leaders in interceptions last season. So it's just a matter of, he needs to be better down the stretch, protecting the football, and he can't turn it over.
Yeah, you're totally right. And for God's sakes, I mean, try to get your offense going in the first quarter.
Right.
I mean, there really wasn't a lot of scoring. It was 7-6 at halftime. I mean, it's the Eagles, for God's sakes. Like, you guys should be a dominant offense. You have, a great receiving core. We know about Barkley and his, ability to run, as well as Hurts, his ability to run as well. I mean,
Yeah.
like, just we're not seeing that. I don't know. Again, if he's just not happy or if there's locker room woes or not. But I mean, they're not playing to the caliber that we saw, this time last year at all.
No, it seems like it's carrying over. So I think again, it doesn't matter what sport we're talking about, what scenario we're talking about. When there's, some pretty big like rift or beef, it's not like just, oh yeah, like, you know what I mean? That's it. And like, you know what I mean? It's not in the back of anyone's mind and stuff
Right.
doesn't pop up again. I mean, that's just not a realistic trait of thought.
Yeah, especially from, again, what Sirianni was talking about. It seems like that him and Hurts aren't on the same page. That's a huge problem, and again, I feel like, you look at the way they lost last year, the way they lost last night. I mean, that's teams who have locker room troubles, like, can't get it together in the final minute in a close game, So, I mean, I guess we'll see if things do kind of work them out. I didn't look at any post game stuff though, like interviews and what they were kind of saying. So I don't know what the vibe was like.
I mean,
It can't be great, dude. Right? I mean, Sirianni always looks like he's had a rough night, but I think he definitely had especially a rough one last night. It's actually funny. Domac was talking shit to me last night too, texting me during the Mets game. Wow, dude, the Mets, against the Nationals, dude. Like, what are you doing? Because they were like down 1-0. They were tied in extras. And he's like talking shit. Why don't you put on a real game, dude? Birds versus birds, Monday Night Football. Boo. Mets won, Eagles lost. Boom,
Did
Michael.
you say something?
Oh, yeah, I told him to call into the sports book tomorrow. No balls.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Yeah,
that
dude.
is funny. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, where the Eagles go from here, and
Where do you think they're gonna go? Like,
nowhere.
really?
Just because, and it's not because the talent's not there, but it's just the riffs, inconsistent play by Hurts. So sure, do they fall into 10 or 11 wins? Probably, but I don't think they're going to win a playoff game or go back to the Super Bowl.
So do you think that anything changes on the roster, like big changes in the roster next season? Same coach, same quarterback?
Might be out. It seems like the fans really don't like him either.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I don't really know many Phillies fans or Eagles fans, I should say. So,
but you just hear the thing, oh, Sirianni doesn't know what he's doing, and like the call to go for it always. And but it was interesting. Like, I don't know if it stands out to you, but like that situation in the first quarter, first drive, I guess, where the Eagles don't kick the field goal, 4th and 4, 24-yard field goal, I think was the option at that point. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, do you think that was the call, or would you have just taken the 3? Take the lead, first points of the game.
I mean,
4 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, 4 yards.
No, yeah, that is definitely an interesting decision. Honestly, if I was him, I probably would have tried to convert on 4th down, to be honest.
I just, you know what it is though? I just get nervous like when you have to pass it on 4th down, because everything, a guy can drop it, the pass can get batted down, right. You can get sacked, but at least a run, like, okay, you block well,
right? No,
you
yeah,
get a good push. Like
the play call, I think, like a pass to your tight end, Dallas Goedert. I mean, I don't know about him.
Yeah.
I would have been looking for something else, or at least something like maybe screen to Barkley, or quick slants, dude. Right? Yeah. I mean, Madden, let's go. And I guess I see where he's probably thinking, all right, we're down here. Not for nothing, like the Falcons are probably not going to get a ton of scoring opportunities right now. Just take a chance, come up. I would say, obviously, is it unnecessary? Yeah. Do you look really way better if you end up converting and getting it? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was not wrong that Atlanta didn't really score much after that, right? They had the field goal for the rest of the quarter, and you end up, scoring up. Obviously, again, hindsight right now, it's a 1-point game, 1-point loss. So if you kicked it, theoretically, you would have won. But I don't know. I don't think that was – I wouldn't crucify him for that. I don't know. What do you think?
I just think, though, it's different when no one scored and you've had a long drive. And like I said, it's not 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 4. I think you want to, like, score as many points as possible. So I think just it's gotten a little crazy where it's not even in that situation. That was on the 9-yard line, but it's a common thing. 4th and 4 from the 50
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
for
yeah.
it. And I just feel like, what are we doing here? You know?
What scenario last night would you like if you were down
4th and 2.
3-0, 4th and 2?
Yeah.
Still no score?
Either
Yeah.
way.
What
But
if
I'm
you
just
were
saying
down
4
7-0?
yards.
Would you try to get a touchdown?
I mean, like maybe if like you had gotten torched, like, you know what I mean? It was just a quick hitter and it looked like your defense wasn't going to stop them. But I just felt like going into this game too, they should have felt they have the better team, the better defense as well. And, you know,
Play the long
arguably,
game.
you know,
Yeah.
but so I don't know. That's just me. And I think too, it's like early, more conservative, aggressive, more late. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
that would be typical for
Yeah.
sure. It was not. It was an unusual call. That's for sure.
But then also, I think it was still in the first half when they kicked it after that. You know what I mean? Where they had a 4th and short, and it was close. You know, and they decided to kick the field goal. Or was that what second?
Maybe the start of the second,
third quarter. Yeah.
Yeah,
See
third,
what yard line here?
Oh
yeah. So 4th and what? Fourth and 4th and 3 though, because they took
4th and 3.
delay game on purpose. Yeah, so that's a closer scenario, both the yardage to go and where they were on the field, and they decided to kick it there. So I think, you know, I don't know if that was just like, oh well, I guess that was the wrong decision, you know.
I mean, listen, if he were to go for it again and fucking not convert on 4th down, he would look foolish, like really foolish.
Yeah. You know what random stat? I was listening to DNR this morning that I didn't realize. I was just thinking about that because I was looking at the games for next week or this week. But the Giants were the first team in NFL history to score 3 touchdowns, not let up any, and lose. I didn't realize that.
How crazy is that, dude?
Like to not have the kicking situation.
I just don't get like what they were thinking with not having a kicker.
No, and then it was so funny. I think. Oh yeah, so DNR went to commercial. So then I was listening to Boomer and Geo, and they had this thing of they're like, oh yeah, we call this the Back in the Mad Dog segment, and they had like just 2 random clips from what they had said, and Francesca said that like early on in his Giant tenure, Brian Dable had that glimmer in his eye, like he's like fired up, ready to go. And then he said, literally, now he goes, "It looks like a guy who just wants to jump off of a bridge."
Oh my god, dude! Totally. I did watch his post game at the podium, and it's just like,
and then the other one was Dog said something like Jackson Smith in Jimma.
Yo, yeah, his pronunciation. Rick and
know.
Dave were talking about it on the show, dude. Absolutely hilarious. They compared him pronouncing it to Anita pronouncing it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, it's so funny.
It's funny that they both happened to mention that.
Yeah, which is, I mean, obviously it's a very obscure name to try and pronounce. Jigba.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, not that hard. You're professional. Style it.
Your mother wants to know if you're dialing it in home this weekend.
I mean, probably not. Horseshoe Sunday, so
not the time.
Not the time.
Quick up and back, too much. The traffic.
Oh my god, dude! To do a quick up and back is just brutal, dude.
Yeah, so absolutely. Brutal. And I was mentioning, the games coming up this weekend. Speaking of the 2 teams we were just referring to there, Falcons are going to be home. So they are going to host the Chiefs. That's going to be Sunday Night Football. So you'd think that'd be a good one. And the Chiefs a little banged up. We found out about Pacheco being out 6 to 8 weeks.
Tough.
So next man up there. And then the Eagles are going to be in New Orleans. So the Saints hosting the Eagles there, which when the schedule first came out, you weren't really circling this one, but that could be an exciting game. And right now, New Orleans is a 2-point favorite, which, beginning of the year, I'm sure it was, the opposite. Favored.
Oh, definitely, dude. I mean, it is kind of crazy. I think the Saints, have scored the most points in NFL history in the first 2 games, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's either Saints history or NFL history. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, dude, they've been absolutely on fire. Kamara, everything. And again, like you said, the way the Eagles are trending, they could have a pretty tough time, dude.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting game. But running down the games here, obviously Thursday, MetLife Stadium, Jets, Pats. So, last time we had this matchup last season, Zach Wilson led Jets, falling short there. The Hail Mary at the end of the game. But Jets, 6.5-point home favorites here. Total set at 37.5. So not expecting a lot of scoring. But I have to say, I'm expecting the Jets to win this game, but I would not feel comfortable minus 6.5 because I could see them winning by a field goal here. Patriots I think they're garbage, but they've ran the ball well. Brissett, I think beat the Jets last year on Washington, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. I don't know. I feel like part of me, I was thinking about this morning. I don't know. I think this is one of those games where like Rodgers and Wilson like go off.
I think they could go off, but Stevenson, 200 yards rushing already this year. They have Antonio Gibson as the backup running back. Hard to think that the Pats aren't going to be able to run the football the way the Jets, run defenses look.
No, that's true. That's true. But I think Jets, again, obviously we'll preview it, but I think they can score 28, maybe even north of that.
Pats, be nice to see.
Pats score 21, somewhere around
there.
But
I think the key, you mentioned, how do you score that many points? You have to possess the ball. And I think the Jets have let the other teams possess the ball way too much first two games. So that starts with stopping the run.
And I'm interested to see, again, what happens. I mean, there's obviously there's quick, obvious adjustments, like more disciplined. They'll be giving away super penalties, shit like that can really help them out. But I mean, I agree. 6.5 is a lot, dude. Do you think the line changes? Like if you're close to Thursday?
Yes, I could see it go down to 6 at least. Right?
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of action on that one. Standalone Thursday, and Al Michaels special. So just for him, I hope we get an all-time classic. I don't know if we'll get an all-time classic Sunday at 1:00. Browns Giants. Cleveland there, 6.5-point favorites. So you would expect that to be a lower scoring game that the Browns would figure out a way to win. But we'll see. 38.5 is the total there. Then you have Packers Titans -3 here at home. Packers riding high, that win under Malik Willis there. So they'll see if they can keep the running game going with Josh Jacobs. Bears Colts, that one's in Indianapolis. Indy looking for that first win of the year. -2 favorites. And that's going to be a real close game as well. Two young quarterbacks there, Richardson and Williams. What promises to be one of the best games of the day, I think, Texans Vikings in Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, can Darnold keep it up? And Houston, struggling a little bit against the Bears. How do they bounce back? I mentioned Eagles Saints, the New Orleans 2-point favorites. Chargers Steelers, so the Steelers 2-point home favorites there. Herbert, I don't know if he's had really
leg?
Well, it was leg, but if there was any X-rays on Herbert's right leg were negative. He did finish the game, so you would expect him to be good to go. The only concern I would have there, Tony, with this Pittsburgh defense and TJ Watt, they got to make sure they protect Herbert. You don't want him to, to have some type of serious injury, not being 100%. That is an interesting game, though. Like, talk about, it says Pittsburgh -2, but to me, especially if Herbert's healthy, I feel like that's a pick'em game, no?
Yeah, I think so too. We're getting Fields, right, for the Steelers.
Yeah. I don't know if they've officially said that,
right? But is there a chance that Wilson's going to be healthy, or no idea?
I haven't seen any updates on that just yet. Let's see here. So it lists him as questionable. Yeah, 2
hours ago, questionable. It says, I don't think really any updates. Kind of crazy.
It just seems like it's something that's not definitive. I mean, obviously Pittsburgh's 2-0, so maybe they're gonna really take their time with this and have a chance to seize the starting job. I mean, I think he's played okay, but it's he hasn't done enough where it's you're gonna tell Wilson to sit down at 156 and 117. But
Zach Wilson numbers.
I mean, at least he doesn't have 4 picks. So, come on. When do you think you'll be able to as Matthew Ryan would say, let that stench go from Zach Wilson?
When he does well for his team right now, dude. Because
I-
Bo Nix is like a bum Nix, okay, dude.
I have to say though, I give you credit for hanging in there this long. And this is, I mean, you want to talk about taking your beating. I mean, this is like,
Listen, time will come, dude. Look at Darnold. Darnold's looking good.
but we talked about this. Darnold was always better though. That's the difference. Like in terms of in the NFL.
In the NFL, yeah. I mean, I suppose so, but still, I mean, the Jets were not doing anyone any good at all. So,
And will he get in the game this Sunday? Tampa hosting the Broncos. Baker been on fire. We know about Godwin and Edwins. Evans.
Baker's great, dude.
But you would think that's a blowout. Tampa 6.5. That might be one of our, one of the circled games potentially. We'll see.
They get TC gets first. So don't give too much away, Brian.
But that's one of those things. They're gonna take it or they're not. It doesn't matter what I say. Raiders -5.5 there against the Panthers. So interesting. The Panthers going with Andy Dalton. I forgot to mention that. What's your thoughts? I mean, it's only 2 games into his second, but Bryce Young has been horrible, looking like on the verge of tears. You talk about with Dable, jumping off the bridge. I mean, I don't know if Bryce Young might be far behind, but this has been really bad. I mean, is this the right just to kind of reset things, or would have you given him more time? I mean, you look at these numbers. I mean, they're absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, they're obviously very bad here. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I feel like I don't know. It's the fucking Panthers. Like, why not just get this guy out there and just give him as much of an opportunity as possible?
Yeah,
right. I mean,
because otherwise, I mean, you're gonna have to get rid of him like after this year.
Yeah.
As it
so,
is
like,
anyway.
what are you doing with Dalton? Like, what is he going to be doing? Are you expecting him to win games with
I
Dalton?
honestly think,
come on, dude.
There's time here, but especially with the +5.5. I mean, I would say Panthers all day here.
Really?
Dalton, though, just because of Dalton, they have Adam Thielen, who had a surprise last year. Chuba Hubbard's not bad. I think it is Zach Wilson. Like that's the type of effect that Bryce Young playing right now has. And you look at the game he played last year. I mean, Dalton played great. I mean, that's more yards than Young probably has had his last 3 starts. So something interesting though. I mean, it is the Raiders, and we know that Pierce is jacked up, but just kind of a thought there.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, it probably will end up being the Raiders, but just was a thought. You rally around the backup quarterback sometimes.
I wouldn't be comfortable taking that pick.
It'd rather just throw it away.
Let the TCA people take that pick, dude.
They probably won't though, because you blew it.
Oh, stop it.
The two-less Dolphins heading to Tony's favorite place, Lumen Fields. Seattle -5.5. I mean, you would think that could get ugly with Scott Thompson at quarterback. Ravens Cowboys, that's an interesting one. 2 teams, that were highly disappointing last week. The Ravens 0-2. I mean, you would think no way they go to 0-3, but the Cowboys hadn't lost a home game in a while. They're really going to lose 2 in a row. Do you think that's going to be like a down to the wire? You think it's Brady again on that call?
CBS?
No, it's
Fox. About the
Ravens Cowboys.
Oh yeah, Ravens Cowboys. Oh yeah, it does say FOX.
It has to be. I feel like
I would imagine, right? Yeah, definitely.
So
I didn't really listen to him at all though this past week. I don't even know what game he was on.
The Cowboys.
Was it really?
Yeah, so that's probably why you didn't listen too much, because it was a blowout the whole time.
Yeah.
But
I'm interested. Did you hear him at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's just not great.
Okay.
So big test.
Yeah, dude.
Also, I guess we didn't really talk about it too much, but I mean, you think with the Ravens, time to panic, or just,
I do think it's problems there. Yeah, I do think so.
Late game execution,
not there. And it's interesting to see like the parallels between that and the Eagles and stuff. But I don't know. I don't think, although Lamar Jackson does look a little bit better than Hurts, I think, but still, I don't think it's there. Like you said, late game execution. It's just
I mean, obviously the Cowboys played like shit last week too. So
bounce back. I think a huge bounce back spot.
You would think. So that'll be 4:25 on Fox. Also 4:25 Rams at 49ers. I mean, Rams have basically lost their whole team to injury. 49ers though, no McCaffrey, and then Debo is going to miss a couple weeks as well. But you have the Rams with Kupp and Nakua on IR, and I feel like they lost somebody else as well. So could be a long season for the second time in 3 years for the Rams. But then again, I mean, the Niners, I mean, those are big injuries too. So, that was a disappointing loss for them last week. So we'll see what they do. Lions Cardinals, I think that'll be a really good game. Detroit 3-point road favorites there. And, we know the game that Marvin Harrison Jr. had this past week. And
Great.
then Chiefs Falcons in Atlanta. Interesting though, because the Chiefs really narrowly got by there. So it'll be interesting to see second week in a row, prime time. Can the Falcons pull off an upset? You know?
Yeah, that is kind of wild, huh?
I mean, I would bet against the Chiefs. I wouldn't bet against the Chiefs bouncing back, but only 3.5 there. But the hook, I get you into trouble sometimes, so you never know.
Yeah, dude.
And then we finish out the week, Bills and Jags, Monday Night Football. A double header, though, actually. So that's at 7:30.
Oh.
And then Commanders, Bengals following that. So we'll get a good look there at 2-0-2 teams, Jags and Bengals. Can they get off the schneid? Because the track record is pretty bad already. 0-2 to make the playoffs. I think the percentage is like less than 5%.
Oh shit, really?
It's like really, really bad, which is interesting. It's 2 games, 17-game season now was 16, but you would think more teams would be able to do it. But start off on the wrong foot, chasing victories.
Yeah.
You find yourself, as you would say, Tony, in a precarious situation.
Very precarious, dude. And I would say out of those 2 0-2 teams, I want to say the Bengals are in a more precarious situation because I would imagine way more is expected of Burrow.
Higgins has been out. Chase is tight, $50 million insurance policy. But at the same time, and the Commanders ran the ball really well but against the Giants,
Right.
I would think the Bengals bounce back there.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, and the Bills are honestly good. So
Bills are good. Yeah. But again, I mean, you never know. So
come on, Bills at home too.
Yeah.
Allen,
Eagles at home, Hurts. No, but Allen though is not like, I don't know.
He's keeping his composure.
Yeah,
no picks yet, right?
I don't believe so. But you never know, Tony, when the next one is.
Oh my god!
Around the corner.
Around the corner. No, you're right.
3 touchdowns, no picks.
Only sacked twice over the first 2 games.
James Cook has had a nice start to his year.
Yeah, dude.
5 yards a carry, a couple scores.
Speaking of running the ball,
Shakir. It's funny. He's really spread the ball out. But I would imagine Dalton Kincaid gets more involved here. And as we've seen with the Bills, they usually don't struggle to score points. So we will see. But week 3 will get underway Thursday night. Jets and Pats. But before we switch gears here, we got 30 comments, Tony, if you want to get to those.
Oh,
Mets
yeah,
got lucky. That was
dude.
the first one. After your mother said it's worth the traffic, Brian.
Worth the traffic, Brian. And then, of course, Matthew Ryan with his absolute nonsense comes and he says, Mets got lucky. Literally every win, I guess, is lucky, but that's okay, dude. Matthew Ryan also says Zach Wilson on the bench, not doing anything, being a bump. Dude, look at Bo Nix. Stop it, dude. Speaking of also looking depressed at the podium, dude. Yeah, I just threw the ball to the wrong team.
Well, then how do you think, Peyton is Monday at practice?
Oh, my God.
After probably getting hammered later on that Sunday. I mean, he must have really reamed him out.
Absolutely. Matthew Ryan hammering Zach Wilson bum. Also says Bryce Young, another Zach Wilson. I still think they should just play the fucking guy, dude. Again, it's the Panthers. Like, you're not winning the Super Bowl.
I think they could have given him a couple more games.
Yeah.
And he might get right back in there. Who knows?
Matthew Ryan seems to be tight. 2 huge busts, he says. Matthew Gabriel wants to know, how is Carolina so bad? It's crazy, he says. Talk about sucking ass. And he does confirm
Brady.
It is Brady, dude.
No, I think he's talking about like Brady meaning crazy, not Brady on the announcing. I think.
Oh, I think it is Brady, like meaning the announcing.
No, it's not. Like, I almost guarantee. You think he's looking up the announcing schedule for this week? Come on.
Yeah, I do think so.
Trying to cover your tracks there.
That's right, dude. He says Brady's a chief. Ravens will smoke the Cowboys, Matthew says. And then the other Matthew says, so happy we don't have a cancer QB like Bryce Young and Zach Wilson. Matthew Gabriel screwed in fantasy.
But listen, Matthew, just like I told Tony too, long season, so you can't get ahead of it. And really fantasy, especially football, so many injuries like you've already experienced, all about the pickups. I mean, that's really what it is. So even if you have a couple tough ones, if you pick up the right guys, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah. And I feel like his team was pretty solid, to be honest, dude.
But Debo, and then who was it? He didn't take Debo and McCaffrey, did he? No,
not McCaffrey. No way.
No, but there was somebody else. AJ Brown. Was it AJ Brown?
Debo. Yep, AJ Brown.
Okay.
And then who else? Keenan Allen is injured. Looks like.
Yeah,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Edwards-Helaire. But Edwards-Helaire is actually going to play a lot more now with Pacheco out.
Definitely, dude. It was actually funny. I overheard some kid in the bathroom at school yesterday. He goes, dude, we're fucking screwed, dude. We drafted McCaffrey and Pacheco. What are we gonna do? Like, he was all like panicking, dude. It was mad funny.
Pickups.
Got
Got the pickups.
the pickups, dude. Speaking of picking up, Matthew Ryan, Jets dominate the Patriots. I mean, I do, like I said, I think this is going to be those weeks where you
Margin
see
of victory.
Rodgers just over 6.5.
Interesting.
Matthew Ryan, Tony, you love shitty QBs.
No, you don't. You don't really like Bryce Young. All you're saying is like you might as well see it out. You're gonna be terrible anyway.
Exactly. Like, you're not gaining anything by starting Dalton.
Andy Dalton, unless you think somehow you're gonna make the playoffs. But Dave
Somehow.
Canales, the work with Baker and Goff.
I don't want to hear it, dude. And besides, Dalton, I mean, you saw hasn't played a ton past couple of years. Matthew Ryan also says like Zach Wilson and Bryce Young. Yes, shit QBs. Get out of town. All right, dude.
And I think we're going to hear a lot more from Matthew Ryan in their next segment. Let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it, Tony. Yeah. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So Yankees off, making their way out west. Final road trip of the season. Seattle starting tonight. Then on to Oakland, and then back home for Baltimore and Pittsburgh. But the Mets were in action yesterday in front of 21,000 strong, Tony. The Mets walk it off 2-1. And the reason I mentioned that, and I did actually check before they mentioned it, but did you hear that segment this morning on DNR about the attendance or no?
No.
So it was kind of funny. So they did the thing like what we always do where Dave having them guess how many people were there. Rick was literally like 600 away from getting like the exact number.
Really?
So it was like 21-6 or whatever.
Yeah.
You were 17. What is it?
That's sick.
And they were saying on the broadcast, I guess Gary and Keith were mentioning how they were surprised that the place was, kind of empty.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were kind of saying like, yeah, like you understand it from their perspective. Rick was like, oh, I'd love to go to more games, but the time it's hard to get to them. But then they're like, but then he's like questioning it because he's like, well, it's the same thing for like the Yankees, but they always have 30,000 plus every game.
Right.
So they were kind of saying that it's like the players deserve more despite the difficulty of getting to the game.
Yeah, dude. Hey, listen, I've been calling it all week to DNR trying to get those fucking free tickets for Friday. But regardless, dude, I mean, yeah, you definitely want to see more people there, but I mean, it's a Monday night.
Yeah, but also like the game Friday, I haven't even checked. Have you checked how much those tickets are?
No.
I want your guess here. I'm going to tell you just to get in,
just to walk in the building.
And I'm going to take a guess too, but I want you to guess first, and then I'll look it up.
I don't know, maybe $70.
I'm going to say 10.
Come on.
It's my guess.
$10.
Bucks. All right. So Friday night. Okay. Well, I guess it was a little off, but it's not quite 70, Tony.
50.
44, but that's just on game time. They might be less than other. Do they have a standing area there or no?
No.
Yeah, so it might be less on other ticket apps. $42. Tonight's 12. But what's your thought on that though? Because I mean, obviously, it's just one of those things. We all just like seeing like a packed stadium when we're watching a game. I mean, what's your thought behind that?
Like why it wasn't packed?
Why it isn't, or why? Yeah, basically why it isn't.
The only thing I can think of, it's a Monday night. People are working. People have work the next day. It's the end of the summer. People have already done their vacations. Like school's just started. Like people are getting to the back of swing of things. So, yeah.
And do you think it plays into our favorite conversation about the train system or no? I
mean, definitely could. I mean, I don't know what Rick and Dave were talking about, but I feel like it is more difficult to get to Citi Field than it is to Yankee Stadium.
Well, especially from Connecticut.
Especially from Connecticut.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, honestly, just outside the city in general. So, I mean, yeah. What are you gonna do?
But even with that being said, like when you look at like the season attendance numbers, though, I mean, do you feel like, are you surprised that they can't do better than like 17th in attendance, given, it's New York, obviously?
I mean, I guess I'd have to look at the other teams around them and stuff. I know we have talked about this before. I mean, yeah, I guess so. At the end of the day, I mean, sure, I want every game to be sold out. That'd be great. But at the end of the day, you're sharing a big market with an even bigger team. A team that has more history, obviously more victories. So I mean, yeah, you're competing with
Oh, by the way, they have standing room tickets there.
Standing room where? In fucking
It just says SRO, so I think it might maybe not designated that you could just go anywhere in the fields,
interesting.
And it looks like too, yeah, he was just checking Vivid Seats, but it's like $40 pretty much seems like it's the get in price there.
Well, that's not too bad for a Friday night.
Yeah, not bad. But when it comes down to it, would you split it in terms of like the attendance question, in terms of the Yankees and the transportation? Like, you think it's just half and half, and like those are the biggest reasons why they're not top 10 or top 8, top 5 in the league?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it is at this point in the game, it's crazy if you think about it, these big cities having multiple teams. I guess it just comes down to tradition at the end of the day of why they've remained that way.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, if you look at other teams too, like across the sports, across the country, I mean, look at you have multiple teams in LA, like for baseball, but obviously Dodgers play in LA, Angels do not.
But the difference there, at least they're in the OC, so that's just a marketing thing. They're actually in Anaheim, so they actually are like top 10 in attendance.
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I mean, dude, the Queens and the Bronx are right next to each other. Like there's no, like, you're not getting different people. Like it's the same people around there. So it's a tight market there, dude.
Yeah. And I guess they were just saying the main reason why they were surprised is just that it's such a tight pennant race. So you would think that people would be juiced up. And typically this point of the year, if they're in a tight race, that it's packed, but maybe like you're kind of alluding to, it'll be different on the weekends.
And honestly, speaking to people who are avid baseball game goers, there's a little bit less juice with how quick these games are going by. I think that is changing a little bit of the experience for the people who go to the games as opposed to helping out people who watch from home,
But I think, though, that's got to cancel out, though, because I think a lot of people do like that. Oh, instead of taking up 5 hours of your day, it only takes up 4.
Like, do they? I mean, I don't know. Again, like people who are avid baseball game goers are like, hey, man, like I want to get up, I want to walk around. Like I want to be able to get up and get a beer and not miss a whole inning, sort of deal.
But what I'm saying is I agree with that because I'm that.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But I just think at the same time, it doesn't prevent them from going to the game. It's just like a complaint that they have, more or less.
I guess so. I think, again, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it obviously depends on the person, but I would imagine, hey, Monday night, am I really going to make an hour commute there for a 2.5 hour game and another hour commute back? Like your commute is becoming longer than the game almost. So it's like, what are we doing?
But don't you think a lot of it too with people going to the game, especially like weeknights, has to do with the marriage, the family, the kids, the divorce? I mean, don't you think that's most of like why people don't go to the games, like especially during the week?
I guess so, yeah.
Right? Because if you didn't have kids, why would be like so? I mean, sure, like you're gonna get back a little later, but it's like, I guess it depends how far you're coming from as well.
I mean, dude, if I live near Citi Field, I'd be going to fucking 3 games a week, I feel.
You really think so?
I absolutely would think so, dude.
And if you, I feel like I've asked you this before, but if you had like the unlimited resources, you could get hooked up for every game and like road trips included, like would you go to the whole season or no? Sweet.
I mean, if I literally have the opportunity to go, like
no responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, so I'm basically just traveling with the team. Just traveling with the team,
dude. We got a couple more comments here. I think it started with actually Michael, right?
Yes, he says, "Goats, let's go." He says,
"Good to hear from Michael."
Matthew Ryan still talking his fucking shit, dude. Now coming at Michael Theophil, bust at QBs. You love shitty QBs too. I think he says, "Fuck the Mets. If the stadium is empty, it's because no one believes in the shitty Mets," which honestly is just totally wrong. Jay Bird in here says Kirk is him. Jay Bird riding the Kirk Cousins train right now. Matthew Ryan says about fucking results. Come on, Tony, you know the facts that the Mets are not making playoffs, so why go to Citi Field? I think that's actually a bullshit statement. I mean, again, you want to see facts are facts. I mean, we are the third wild card right now, so we are making the playoffs as of right now. So I mean I think that has nothing to do with it. If anything, like the Mets are playing like great baseball right now. So it's like they would be coming. They are in a wild card race. Like that is the time to go. So it's like what you're saying doesn't make
I
sense.
think what bodes well is, I mean, the Braves could not be playing any worse. I mean, so you want to talk about like jumping off the bridge? That's kind of the vibe you get from the Braves right now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the 9-0 shutout last night, definitely kind of tough.
Seems like unless Sale pitches, they lose.
Literally. And he's been pitching great.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, the injuries and stuff like that. I mean, you could you would have expected a regress.
Acuna,
you know?
Riley. I mean, that's huge production.
And I mean, not for nothing, when these injuries occurred, they kind of didn't miss a step for a while,
for a little
dude.
bit, and
yeah,
then caught up eventually.
Finally caught up. So there we go. Matthew Gabriel, he says he went to the game, then he lost his marriage, dude. The divorce, bro. Matthew Ryan says, at Matthew Gabriel, I am stating facts, which is pretty interesting. And then Josh B says, you're making me feel like I want the Mets to get in to maybe stop your crazy no thought.
One thing, just a quick pause there. I mean, I would agree with Josh, not in terms of wanting to get in, but that, Matthew Ryan, some of these statements a little crazy, but let's not get too carried away with wanting the Mets to get in, Josh. I mean, come on, let's just have a little perspective here.
And then Matthew Ryan says, then you are a traitor. And he says, no, I like to think logically.
Well, I mean, I will say, and honestly, like, obviously, I mean, I'm always honest and realistic.
Just say you're rooting against the Mets. You can say you're rooting against the Mets.
Well, everybody already knows that. I don't need to say that, but I'm saying right now, it seems like they're going to get in just because, like I said, how could you count on the Braves to do anything?
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, but I'm not going to say that.
Because you're worried about jinxing it?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
you're worried about.
I want to say the Mets have probably the worst schedule to have ending the season.
True. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I mean, it is the Braves, the team you're contending with. It's the Phillies, one of the best teams in baseball, and then the Brewers, who obviously.
But they might not need to play. But maybe for the number one seed of the National League, possibly depending on how the Dodgers play. They were talking about it this morning.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not going to get a Phillies team that's going to be lackadaisical. They're a divisional rival too. They're going to want to beat you for sure. And then again, ending with the Brewers. Brewers are a great team this year. They're sneaky good. And you started this season off with them, and you did not do well. So,
and then one other thing before we get to the recap from last night. I heard Dave mentioning it quickly. It sounds like the Lindor, is it today getting the shot, or did he already get the shot in the back? I heard he was getting some type of
I think
injection.
Today's shot, injection, MRI, no structural damage, good. Depending on how he feels, it could be between 2 and 5 days.
Okay. But if it doesn't work, then obviously there's an issue. They were saying on DNR, because they were saying Rick was like, because Dave was like, oh yeah, well, a lot of times the house been out a lot, and like we should be good. And Rick was like, yeah, I mean, they work a lot, but not every time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess it is kind of hit or miss. Anytime you do those injections too, I don't know. It's kind of
because I know from my dad, I mean, obviously it's different, but he's had it like in his hip and his knee. Yeah. I think it's called a Synvis for what he had gotten, and it seemed kind of mixed where sometimes like, oh, like it helped him feel better for like a couple of years. Other times it's like, oh, like a couple of weeks.
Doesn't really happen. Yeah.
I don't even realize I had it.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, lower back, a lot of nerves and shit going on down there. You're not really sure what it is, but again, no structural damage. So you're happy it's not like a disc or a vertebrae, whatever, dude. Could just be, overall fatigue too, as well. Just his muscles kind of cramping up or whatever.
From carrying the Mets on his Mets,
dude.
Back.
No, literally, dude. And I mean, he really hasn't missed many games at all this year. So listen, if he's got to rest, he's got to rest. We still won, so let's keep it going.
Yeah. So speaking of which, the floor is yours. After Matthew Ryan says the steak dinner will taste so good, yum! I could taste it.
Yeah.
Taste it, Tony. I want my steak dinner. It's tasting so good. Josh B, you're a traitor if you go to the Mets game. And
how crazy is that, dude?
Technically, they can catch Philly.
Technically, they could. I don't think they can catch Philly. Well, I guess
if they win out.
I don't know. What is there? 7 games left?
No, there's more than that.
Oh no, there's 10 games left.
So they go 10-0. Phillies go 0-10. They would catch him.
They would catch him because they're 8 games back.
10-0, 0-10.
I mean, come on, that's not going to happen. It'd be crazy. I think there's 7 games left. 7 home games left for the Mets. Regardless, speaking of home games for the Mets, they won at home last night. You can see the graphic right there. 2-1 was the final over 10 innings. Quite the nail biter. Not a ton of scoring obviously a great pitcher's duel, I guess. But recapping this game, like I said, not a ton of scoring, but you did have Irvin on the mound last night against Manaea. Obviously, we mentioned Manaea, great pitcher here, still needing a great start to continue to pitch like an ace coming in the postseason, which is exactly what he did, to be honest. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk. Only those 6 Ks, but hey, 85 pitches over those 7 innings, very efficient. And I think, again, I wouldn't have thought maybe he would try out for the 8th or anything, but interesting storyline for Irvin. Last time he pitched against the Mets, I think it was like 8 scoreless, I think he threw. So obviously, we're going to emulate that, which he did. Obviously not a ton of scoring here. Like I said, you want to look at this box scores and how he got to some scoring. Not a ton of opportunities at first there for either team. Only 5 hits for the Nats, 6 hits for the Mets here. Obviously coming a little bit later there. But both pitchers looking pretty solid. Manaea, hammering the low fastball, attacking the knees of the batters, getting, batters frozen up, striking out, just staring at it, dude. But eventually did give up a single or a couple singles on top of the 4th. Tenya did end up getting the RBI single there, made it 1-0. And again, at that point, it was looking kind of tough. We're watching this game with a horseshoe. It wasn't a lot of offense. So you see this, this 1-run score. You do get kind of nervous. Especially the way Irvin was pitching. Nonetheless, the Mets finally did get to him in the bottom of the 8th, or any pitcher, I should say. It was against Law here, who comes in relief of Irvin. So the earned run ended up being Irvin, even though Law gave it up. But Jose Iglesias, dude, who's batting like 340 this year, not obviously getting all of the at-bats, but still batting really well. Average is very high.
Go pull up. I was just curious. It'll be on here if you just go up box score. 323 OP. They don't have it. Click on his player plate just real quick. The OPS 809. And how many at bats?
2 something.
238, right? 220. So obviously not a power guy, but 800 OPS. I mean, that's
very impressive, dude.
Career.
No, it literally is.
Size,
so he's having a great time for sure. And it was a great hit the ball right back to Law, kind of dribbled into the infield. Everybody's safe. Taylor, who I think led off the inning with a double, ends up scoring around. So you'll have to see that. And that tied the game. And that was all of your scoring in regulation baseball.
Diaz, got into trouble, right? Leadoff double, but then worked around it.
Did work around it. Again, the leadoff double was tough. Definitely get worried. But got the strikeout, I think, and then 2 flyouts, I believe.
Okay.
So again, I think I don't know, after his last appearance where he did give up a run, I guess it was against Philly. I don't know. I think maybe he's tempted to go back to the fastball right now because you saw a lot of sliders last night. But it's like, what are you really doing? I get back to the fastball. I just feel like his confidence is still kind of wavering a little bit. But I think with again, some more outings here, maybe some encouragement from the coaching staff here. You can get back to just throwing 101 and just not worrying about anything else.
But if there's a save opportunity tonight, back-to-back games. I mean, if it was up to you, or are you putting him out there?
Like we have a
2-1,
2-1,
same thing.
2-run, bottom of the ninth, or
no,
top
2-1. So 1 run lead.
Yes. Yeah, I think I still would.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
but if he blew it, then it's like
what are you doing, dude? But at the end of the day, it's like, who else are we gonna put out there?
Garrett.
Yeah. Garrett did well in the 10th.
What about Matone?
To close?
Has he been pitching well or no?
Yeah, I feel like his last appearance, he gave up a run though.
But
other than that, he has been pretty solid.
Yeah. Garrett looks like he recently has pitched better, no?
Yes, recently for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely been loving Buteau out of the pen as well. 1 inning, 3 strikeouts, looking good.
After that kerfuffle.
After the kerfuffle, after not really making it as a starter either right now. So I think he's doing well out of the pen. But I'm still going to hammer Diaz right now for sure. And then obviously the big run here came in the bottom of the 10th. With the ghost runner on Alvarez. It's actually kind of funny. I think they walked Taylor to get to Alvarez. Alvarez sack fly pushes the runners up. And then of course Marte Nice single through the gap, scores Bader right away. And that was your walk-off single right there from Marte, which was his first walk-off hit this year. Obviously, the 11th total for the Mets, though. Walk-off victory, which is pretty intense.
Does that lead the majors?
I was trying to find that out, and I couldn't find the stat.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be pretty fucking high,
Yankees
right?
only have like 4.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
like, I remember the Yankees, I think, have tied the record, right? From, I don't know, a few years ago. They had like 16 or something. So I want to say 11 is pretty high.
It's too high.
That's too high. So if you can find the stat, go for it, dude. But nonetheless, I mean, a huge gutsy win here from the Mets. I mean, yes, you can say Nationals this, Nationals that. Irvin obviously has proven himself to be a formidable pitcher. And you'd imagine moving forward, it wouldn't be like that. You don't have Lindor, obviously, this game. You're getting
8 for the Marlins.
8 for the Marlins.
You said that Are you sure the Mets have 11?
That's what Cohen said last night.
Huh. I mean, this was AI, so you never know.
AI.
Like AI on Google.
Oh.
But it's weird. It says it like past tense had the most walk-off wins.
So like, is that for this year?
I mean, it says 2024.
Sounds like AI maybe doesn't know what they're talking about, dude.
But whatever.
Regardless, dude. I forget what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, that's right. Like I said, no Lindor. You kind of had a pulling together your infield. I don't know if you saw
16
this,
is the record, by the way. Good memory, Tony. 2022.
Thank you very much.
The Judge 61 home runs.
That's right, because
62.
62.
But what was it?
This guy Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie. No, I'm not familiar with Eddie.
Journeyman, been on the Dodgers. Somebody else too. I think Red Sox possibly. But Mets traded for him last week, I think.
Oh, minor league trade.
And I guess because of that, he cannot play in the postseason,
right? Which
is pretty crazy. You got to figure that out. But he did look good at second base. Had a great, sweet little glove flip, turned a couple double plays there. Iglesias obviously great in the field too. We saw Acuna a little bit in the field. But I mean, defensively, they're looking pretty sound, even without Lindor. Vientos was great at taking a lot of ground balls, some hard throws from third to first, too. So, have to see that. Again, I think they played great defense behind Manaea as well. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to tonight's matchup here. Obviously, McGill, you never know, but recently good. Mitchell Parker, recently bad. But obviously, we'll see what happens. You imagine, the bats come alive a little bit more, Brian.
And speaking of coming alive, I want an attendance prediction for tonight. 21-6 we had last night. Are we improving upon that tonight? Or you think it's same deal?
I mean, I don't think if they do improve, I don't think it's going to be much more of an improvement.
Yeah.
Although they say, Monday nights are typically the lowest in terms of attendance anywhere. So I don't know, maybe like a 24-5.
Okay. And then you think we're getting 30 strong over the weekend or no? Good weather.
I mean, I would think so,
Phillies,
dude, right? And then if not for nothing, like Philadelphia, not too far away. Phillies fan base big. They kind of want to come see it. Maybe do they care? I don't really know. Do they want to see? I mean,
they're always top in attendance.
They always are top in attendance, but it's like, I don't know. Is it just like because they know they got it? Maybe they don't really care about going out to Queens. Like,
I feel like you're almost like me with the Mets with the Phillies, kind of.
What do you mean?
I feel like you're really you really want to see this Philly downfall. Like, I think you want to see them get swept first round.
I mean, I want to see them get swept by the Mets in this weekend. But I mean, no, I mean, am I saying something wrong though? I feel like, especially with your team on the road, like if they have like the division in the bag, like are you spending the money to go see them on the road?
No, it was more. I was just saying it because of the Harper conversation the last couple of days. No, it just seems like, as you would say, what am I going to say? There is a parallel.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
I'm reluctant to admit it, but it seems like it's there.
I mean, I think I'm just like Josh B using logic right now.
Road trips are sick, by the way, too. I definitely want to do more of that next season. Honestly, really enjoyed going to the San Diego Yankee games and maybe Baltimore next year. Honestly,
Baltimore would be dope.
Boston is great to go with people because you got the golf, the casino. Pretty awesome, honestly. But can only go there for Yankees, Red Sox. So figure it out.
Would you go for Mets, Red Sox?
I did last year, and then I said I would never go back to the stadium again unless the Yankees are playing.
That's too bad.
You know what the biggest thing for me, honestly, is, and we talked about it, was the size of the seats. I mean, it's just like not angled, this and that.
Kind of ridiculous, dudes.
So anyway, just moving this along. Matthew Ryan still talking. Josh B defending the Mets here for Tony, saying we lost a series to Washington in August. Just stop talking. You make 0 sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just we're in the stretch run.
For Matthew Ryan to say we had to go 10 innings, that's a joke. Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
like, a win is a win. Like, I don't care how it comes, honestly, dude. Especially in a sport like baseball. This isn't football where
Win's
it's
a win.
like a win is a win, dude.
And then also, too, I don't know. I feel like I was more into like the whole going crazy about what the Mets are doing when we didn't win any games in the Subway Series and we were losing all these games. But I feel like Matthew, it's like we are where we need to be right now. So let's just enjoy that. I mean, let the Mets do whatever the Mets are going to do.
Everyone is where they need to be right now.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that.
Who's not where they need to be right now?
No, I'm saying like where they want to be. So obviously every team.
You didn't say want, you said need.
Want, need, same thing. You get it. What else did we have here?
I was like Matthew Gabriel.
Got hit Baltimore next year. Yes, we will definitely. And those seats are inexpensive. Great park.
Standing room?
I mean, I've just been there in the suite with GIF last couple of times, but I've looked online because they don't rank well in attendance, so it's not hard to get a seat there.
That's pretty tough.
Manageable trip though. One of those road trips where I would allow it. And if we could spike a deal at Amtrak, I would love to do that. Tony gets hammered on the way up, right?
Bar cart.
But you're all for an Amtrak trip, right?
I've done Amtrak once in my life. It was from Boston, and it was amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like all of us, like road trip Baltimore, Amtrak.
Yeah.
Like that would be so sick.
The only thing though, like, what's the deal? Amtrak is like 5 hours. Like, what
I think it's 4.
4?
But it's definitely less than it is to drive because there's no traffic.
That's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah. So
I'll be down. Let's go right now.
Let's do that. He says, Matthew Ryan, you're too much, bro. Do you eat amphetamines for breakfast? Which is kind of
wow.
Funny. But anyway, moving along here. So you mentioned what the Mets have in store tonight at Citi Field. The Yankees out west, Luis Heel versus Brandon Wu. So I could tell you that if I had to guess, Tony, I would say that's the first pitching matchup in Major League Baseball history between two pitchers named Heel and Wu. Going out on a limb there. Both have pitched well this year. Luis 13-6, 3.18. Wu 8-2, 2.38. Seattle has been better of late, but I think the whole thing with them has been the offense. It's just been very inconsistent this season. Julio missed some time, and Arozarena has helped at times, as well as Justin Turner. But they're looking at another season where they're not going to be in the playoffs. They're having such a big lead earlier in the year. It's just crazy how the offense dried up. And Julio, for his standards, really poor season. 16 homers, 54 RBIs, slugging, Tony, 386. I mean, Julio Rodriguez, 386 slug.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, would have bounced back, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you would think so. So the offense has been the problem. So I think, this is a series where the Yankees, that park too, I think aids the better pitching. So I expect Heel to have a nice performance here, probably, 6 strong innings. And I think the bats will be going. I know Aaron Judge last time when they were in Seattle hit a home run. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. And while Wu has been solid and was only pitched 105 innings, I think it's just back to the same approach in terms of, waiting for your pitches. And it seems like he gives those pitches. He's only walked 10 batters in 105 innings. So, I think just be ready early in the count, do damage. Fully expect to see that from the Yankees tonight. And, just close in on that division title. Baltimore hosting the Giants tonight, 6:35. So, Giants have been struggling 6 under 500. So you can't, assume they're going to win. So you got to take care of business yourself. Let's clinch this division and let's get to October. But for now, it is time for a full-on abbreviated baseball frenzy from the comfy confines of Citi Field tonight. 22,000 strong.
Right you are, Brian, on this nice Tuesday night here. I mentioned the pitching matchup. I mentioned what I expect to see from the Mets offense. You know the deal here. You're over under 7.5 on the money line here, the Mets are minus 165, clearly the favorite here for the 82-win team. Some people said it couldn't be done, but it has been. And I'm going to say they get their 83rd win here tonight. I think McGill here, look at his last start. Pretty solid out there against Toronto. 6 innings, no earned runs, only 2 walks, 9 Ks. I say against a team like the Nationals, he gets for the first time this year double-digit strikeouts in a start. I think we're going to see him absolutely shut down the offense of the Nationals.
Watch out for Abram.
6 innings strong, 1 walk, 3 hits, 11 strikeouts, Brian. The Mets offense hot. Mitchell Parker last maybe 4 2/3, 5 earned runs. Okay, we're seeing home runs from Alonso. Obviously, no Lindor tonight. But hey, you know what? Marte hyped up the walk-off single. Let's see him go yard. Let's see Vientos put one out as well, dude. I see the Mets win this game by the tune of 7-2. So give me the Mets. Give me your over and give me their 83rd victory of the year.
Why not, while you're at it, just give Lindor a home run from the bench, though?
Oh, stop it, dude.
I had to.
Stop.
T-Mobile Park, though, Woo versus Heel, MLB history, Tony. And I think early on, we will get a pitcher still. I would say, honestly, through 5 innings, I could see it being a 2-2 game. But then who else? Top of the 6th, Aaron Judge, second deck, 3-run homer, give the Yankees a 5-2 lead, and I think they end up winning this game by the score of 6-4. So that would mean it is the Yankees, and it is the over, and the division crown, and possibly the American League pennant is in sight.
Love that right there for the American League pennant. Next up here, speaking of McGill's last good start against the Blue Jays, we're going to Globe Life Field here in Texas. Rangers taking on the Bluebirds
Rangers,
here.
a team that won that pennant last season.
That is correct, dude.
It will not be winning it again.
Certainly not, Brian. Bassett on the bump here against Nathan Eovaldi here. Eovaldi obviously pitching really well for the Rangers. 11-8, tough record, tough offense, but still keeping his ERA below a 4 here, 3.76. Chris Bassett. A few more smiles and strikeouts this year, I think, but nonetheless, I guess okay, manageable, but I don't know. I think Nathan here puts everything he has into this start. And why not Marcus Semien, maybe a 2-for-4 night, a bases clearing double, an RBI single, ramping up Tony's fantasy stats here, coming back.
I knew there was some external motivation.
Obviously, dude. I say Rangers, again, respectable starts here by both teams. I'd say it hits the under. I say Rangers win 4-3 in a nail biter. Let's go, Brian.
All right, so I thought that just the Yankees were playing tonight. I forgot there was other games around Major League Baseball here.
Diamondbacks.
Looking around the schedule, let's actually stay in a game that's relevant for the Yankees here. Let's take those San Francisco Giants because Blake Snell, terrible start to the season, delayed start, no spring training, has definitely honed in, ERA down to 3.52, going up against Albert Suarez. The Orioles have been a shell of themselves. I think 3-7 in their last 10. Just really seeming to have trouble finding good footing. And you look at Snell, last time out, 5 innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, rain shortened appearance before that, 7 innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts before that. Also mixed in a 7-inning, 1 run, 10 strikeout game. So he's been dialed in. And speaking of strikeouts here, 124 92 innings. So I think he'll give them 6 innings, 13 strikeouts. And I know the Giants, you can't count on too much run production there. But I think the Giants are going to win this game 3-1. So it's the Giants and it's the under.
I like that call, Giants under. This next game, let's go to Colorado, dude. Diamondbacks taking on the Rockies here. Talking about Coors Light, we're in Coors Field. Why not? Let's give Colorado the dub here tonight. 11.5 is your total, which I'd probably still hammer that over, especially since Jordan Montgomery is
Back
on
in
the
the
bump,
rotation.
dude. For the D-backs, 6.25 ERA, 8-6 in the year, having an atrocious year. And I thought Ryan Feltner is putting up much better numbers. I'm telling you right now, I think between Doyle and Rogers, maybe a Rogers grand slam, third inning, Jordan Montgomery pulled. Colorado going to win this game. I'm going to say 7-5. Give me Rockies. Give me your over. And at that point, the Mets, after their win, would be tied with the Diamondbacks for the second wild card spot. Watch out there, Brian.
All right, last game of the evening here for me. I am going to go with Bobby Miller and the Dodgers. Miller has been a train wreck this year. Injury, minors, poor performance. But it's the Marlins, and they're closing in on losing 100 games yet again. So I think the Dodgers offensively will be way too much. Wouldn't be surprised if Ohtani hits a couple home runs here. I think this is a bloodbath. I think Miller finally finds his footing. 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, no runs. Dodgers 10-2 over the Marlins in Miami. Dodgers and the over. And just like that, that is your baseball frenzy, Tony.
That was a great frenzy, dude. Lot going on, dude.
Stretch run.
And I will say, the way Diamondbacks have been not doing, I think they've been 4-6 in the last 10. Obviously, Rockies not a tough opponent, but against Montgomery, I mean, kind of feel good all of a sudden now. I mean, we could see Diamondbacks drop out of the wild card, and it's Mets Braves in there if they keep kind of losing some games and Braves pick up a few. You never know, dude. This tight race is looming.
Yeah,
multiple teams.
Yeah, so right around the corner. Dick Fitz. So ridiculous.
You said it.
And then Matthew saying, so you just got hammered on the train. Michael wanting to do, it looks like Philly and DC next year. Those would be some good baseball road trips. Definitely would love to do that. Matthew Ryan says Mets will loser. Drinking already. And he says, I wanted to be a normal postseason with one team from New York in the playoffs, the Yankees, playing in big boys territory.
Stop. It's ridiculous. You know it's ridiculous, Brian. Deep down, you know it's ridiculous, dude.
I know that Matthew Ryan can get a little carried away at times, but it made me think of the postseason. I can't wait to go to the stadium for a postseason game. That's going to be unbelievable. And yeah, I had went to the division series in 2022. I'm trying to think of which game that was. It might even have been game 3. Yeah, I think it was game 2. It was, I don't know, something like that. It was a day game. And I want to say they lost, I think, potentially. I'd have to actually look into that. I'm kind of curious, but nevertheless, it's always fun to go for the playoffs. I mean, it's just there's really nothing like it at the end of the day.
Well, how many playoff games have you gone to?
I was thinking about this in my head actually last night for whatever reason.
Yeah,
and I think it's been 6. So, and I can name them all out. Yeah. So it was the first one ever was the 2015 wild card game. Dallas Keuchel. Upper deck against Ching-Ming. Was it Ching-Ming Wong? Who else would it have been? Would that make sense, Tony? No. Ching-Ming. Who the heck was it? Wasn't Sabathia. It definitely wasn't Wong. No. I need that. This is gonna bother me.
What game was it?
Oh, no. It was Tanaka. That's
okay.
I was getting them confused. Anyway, so I was at that game. And then I went to the 2017 ALCS game 3 against the Astros, the Judge MVP, the Let's Go video that's still looming at Lumen Field somewhere, Tony. So that was 2017. And then I didn't go in 2018. I went in 2019. They lost, and I remember being there saying, if we lose this series, we're going to sign Garrett Cole that offseason. We did.
There we go.
2020, no one was really going to playoff games unless you were in Texas. So it didn't go then. And then 2021 went to the wild card game in Boston, the diner. We talked about it.
That was crazy.
And then 22, the Guardians. And then here we are right now. So I think that was 6, or was that 5? I think that was
5.
You don't even know, I feel like, right? Wild card game. 2 wild card games, actually. 2 wild card games, 2 championship series. and 1 division series, 5. So this year will be 6.
What'd I say?
7, maybe 8, 9, 10. Anybody? I was looking at the
playoff
Rangers
games,
schedule
maybe.
too. I was trying to
Oh my god, dude.
narrow down a day. And I was trying to think about it too for like the 200 section. Is it just me, or was last year pretty much every game, especially like second half of the season, like almost $200 for the
Yeah, you're probably looking at like 170.
because I think I was looking last night and there was like a Sharks game or something that was like 140 for that. So this is where you get the deals.
Yeah, dude. Oh man.
And I was thinking about it too. I kind of want to go on like either a Friday, Saturday, or like a Tuesday, Wednesday, like a non-football night.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that's what we did last time. I think we went on like a Tuesday.
Yeah, I will say though, the Sunday like 1 o'clock games are sick, dude.
Yeah, but then we had to wait till the football season's over.
Right.
Wait 4 months to go to a game.
I went to a Rangers game on Super Bowl Sunday one time. How about that?
No way, dude.
Yeah,
but you're down for like a Sharks game Tuesday night.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
We'll run through the schedule again. Coming up. Tony, okay?
We have some time. We can map it out. The contract, dudes.
There'll be several contracts. Okay.
Oh my god, dude, it's crazy. Like, don't you wish that like Rangers tickets, like hockey tickets in general, just as much as like getting into a baseball stadium?
Mm-hmm. And then it's annoying. The Islanders so much cheaper.
Milani.
But I wonder now with the LIRR if we would we probably would do that then, right? We would be able to just go into Grand Central and then Belmont's on the
to go. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Because remember, I was thinking like, oh, it's so like crazy.
But it's not that crazy.
It's just easier than have to worry about driving.
It's just crazy.
But you feel like it's like, what is it? Like, especially if Yanni is going to be there, like you would go to one Islanders game this year without the Rangers in the building, or is it like you could only go with the Rangers in the building?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm like you in that sense. I can go without the Rangers in the building.
Okay.
I almost prefer it because especially last year, I mean, they didn't really do great against the Islanders. And
I mean, I prefer it though. I mean, we should beat.
Oh no, of course.
Fist,
I mean, if there's Islanders Rangers, I'm gonna go see it for sure.
Yeah.
But if it's Islanders against anyone else, I mean, like I'm always down for hockey, you know.
No, and I think you really would like that arena, honestly, because you haven't been there. Right?
Never.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of games to go to. Pumped for that. A lot of good games tonight. As the playoff race continues.
That is right.
Did we get through all these comments here?
No, Jay Bird, hyped for going to Philly for sure, he says. And then Jay Bird says, yo, Gridiron Gang is on. Oh, shit, dude, it looks intense. I know Brian's probably never seen it before. It's a pretty good movie. The movie over your right shoulder.
Oh, okay.
The Rock.
Denzel.
Football. It's football. No.
Come on, Tony.
No Denzel.
Talking to a wall.
Matthew Ryan, says New York postseason baseball has room for one New York team, and it's the Yankees. I mean, like, come on.
But
come on.
Anyway.
Come on, dude.
What a show. Really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives in the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jason in costume. The merch at downtime.tv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go, Yankees!
Let's go, Mets!
And we will see you.
Oh, I fucking blew it, dude.
Wow.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.